President-elect Trump's pick for Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos will be on Capitol Hill Tuesday. DeVos is a supporter of charter schools and is expected to push for expanding school choice programs if confirmed. She's drawn harsh criticism from teachers' unions. The American Federation of Teachers, which represents 1.6 million members, said that DeVos is, quote, the most ideological anti-public education nominee put forward since President Carter created a cabinet-level Department of Education, end quote. We'll hear from a supporter of DeVos in a moment, but we start with AFT President Randi Weingarten. She joins me now here on set. Randi, thanks for being here.
My pleasure.
Let me start off by just asking you to explain your opposition to Betsy DeVos.
So, Betsy DeVos has spent the last 25 years being very engaged not only in Michigan politics, but Michigan education policies, even though she has no experience in public schools. And what has happened is that this has nothing to do with choice or any of that. What has happened is that Michigan has slid from being 28 in reading, 27 mathematics for fourth graders to 41. Because what Betsy DeVos has done through the legislature has been to defund and destabilize public education. What we want is for public education to be a viable choice, not only for the 90% of kids who go to it, but for any parent who's deciding where to send his or her kid to school. And what she's done in the pushing of charters is she's put for-profit charters that have actually done much worse than public schools and at the same time defunded public schools, like in places like Detroit and Flint. That's why we're opposed to her, because we want to make sure that every child has a viable public school, neighborhood public school option.
So based on what you just outlined, what specifically would you like her to be asked on Tuesday?
So I think what she should be asked about is why she was against increasing public funds to public education, why she was against having any kind of accountability for charter schools, including on operators who would actually get their state funds on like a Wednesday and then close their schools on a Thursday, leaving parents to scramble. Why, instead of helping all of us have a public school system in Detroit that's worth what parents want, the mayor, Republicans, Democrats, she actually stopped that compromise from going through this June, including any kind of accountability for charters. I would ask her why she so wants to retire public schools or end public schools that 90% of the kids go to. Why she isn't actually supporting the things we need to do in public schools, like focus on children's well-being, engaging in powerful learning, building the workforce capacity, and creating cultures of collaboration. That's what I would ask her.
Can charter schools and public schools coexist, do you think?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, in New York City, I started a charter school that just got a Blue Ribbon Award that has a 100% graduation rate. Charters are supposed to be incubators for public schools. They're supposed to be ways that you can see, does something work, and then you bring it to the mainstream, you bring it to public schools. Of course they can. What they can't do is drain or siphon off money. They can't actually be used as a weapon against other public schools where 90% of the kids go.
So what is your union preparing to do now with the incoming Trump administration?
So we're doing a whole bunch of things. First, right now, we're actually making sure that she's defined as what she's done in Michigan, as opposed to, she's, by all accounts, everybody thinks she's a very nice lady, but if you cross her, she punishes her enemies and rewards her friends. So we want people to know what the Michigan story was, that we should not be replicating what happened in Michigan. We should be replicating what happens in great districts across the country, rural, suburban, and urban. So that's number one. And number two is we will fight to make sure kids have the resources they need, have the policies they need, just like I talked about last week in terms of really focusing on now with this new federal law that was passed in a bipartisan way last year. Let's make sure every neighborhood school is a great school, a school that parents would want to send their children to, that educators would want to work at, but most importantly, kids are engaged. Let's make sure we focus on kids' well-being, engage in powerful learning, build the workforce capacity, and create collaboration cultures.
All right, I'm afraid we're out of time. Randi Weingarten,
Thank you
so much for being here.
Thank you.